They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 139 of the Magic Guys, a special episode where we here answer your questions and share our stories as professional magicians. To my left, we have Doug Kahn today.
Greetings.
And down below, we've woken up early just for you guys. We've got Nick K.
Good morning, friends.
Gentlemen, look how many everyone's in the chat today. Maybe they like this this earlier start, maybe, or maybe it's just the
It's
guests.
an exciting day.
I
I shared the news on the socials. We got some guests today and cool stuff.
Oh yeah. And look, we're gonna get straight into it. But Doug, I feel like you had something you were gonna.
I'm just saying, not like we're not cool enough just being us. But, a little extra spice now and again is gooder.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to open up our introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy, let me just say first, I feel like he made rubber bands cool, at least for me. Back then, still to this day, one of his effects, which I'm going to bring up, is in my working set. And, this guy, we've been all learning from at some point or another. And then not only that, but he's responsible for most of the TV magic shows, theater shows that you see, because he's put his touch on it in some place or another. And currently, we just talked about it the other week that one of the world's biggest stars he's currently touring with, and he's live with us right now from another crazy country, which he'll tell us about.
I love this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marcus Eddie. We've got him in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen.
Hype is real.
Zooming in.
What's up, everyone? How you doing?
Oh, it is a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Tell us where you are right now, because I appreciate you even being able to be here.
Right now, I am in Amsterdam. I feel like I'm actually in yesterday already because the time change. Time change is crazy right now. So still getting used to it. But yeah, we're here in Amsterdam.
How cool is that?
Wow.
Where are you today? Well, I'm in Amsterdam today. How long are you in Amsterdam? Are you doing a couple of days, a week? What's your situation?
Yeah, right now we're doing rehearsals. So our rehearsals will be for a few days for the second leg of the tour. And we leave here on the 28th. 28th is the actual show. So after that show, then we head out to a different location.
You're just jet setting.
That's crazy. And of course, we're talking about 50 Cent's world tour right now.
Yeah, the final lap tour.
Man, are you coming to Australia? Because I've got my tickets to see that show.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we'll be there. I'm super excited about it. I've been all over this world, from being an Air Force kid and the different projects that I've been a part of. And fortunately, a lot of these places that we're going to, first time. So Australia will be the first time I'm there. Yeah. Super excited to go. And really, I'm going for you, Jack. I'm going for you. That's the only reason.
Appreciate it. I'll bring the Vegemite for you to try, as everyone does.
Down. I'm down. I'm so down.
There's going to be this level of excitement where it's 50 Cent is coming. Screw 50 Cent. Marcus Eddie's
coming. Yeah.
He's coming, you guys.
I'll take that. I'll embrace that here in my heart space.
That's right. The hype is real.
I'm looking at this schedule. It's amazing. What an amazing adventure you're on with this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Super fortunate to be a part of this. I had to, because of all the projects that I do, I'll do a project and then as soon as it's done, I pretty much forget about it and move to the next project. Literally, before I came out here, on our last show, before we came out here, I had to stop myself, look around at the setting and remind myself of how blessed I am. I had to that was the first time I think I've done that during a project and the project it's not even over yet, right? So I had to stop myself and just be grateful for where I'm at right now because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, which all my opportunities are, but I just haven't taken the time to stop and embrace where I'm at any given moment. So I'm glad I actually did that, because now I'm going to take every single day on this tour that seriously, because one day the tour is going to be over, and I don't want the tour to be over and just forget all of the memories that I have, just because I know, that there may be something else coming down the pipeline. So I just have to be patient with myself and in the situation, and be grateful for every moment that I'm in.
Well, here's the thing about like people's magic careers and so forth, where it takes. I mean, you as a creative is so unique because you're working on project from project, but then I don't know how many people go through their life going, you know what? I really aspire to be someone who tours with these world-class, amazing acts doing sold-out arenas, and I'm going to be this magic consultant. How did you get there?
Wow. I'm still trying to figure that out, by the way. I'm in it, yet still trying to figure. But yes.
That is a great question. How do you end up, how does magic fit in the world of 50 Cent? Can you explain that briefly?
Was it like, did he bump into you at a bar and be like, you know what I need? I need this guy in my toe.
So I was in Texas, and that's where I'm from. And I was working on a secret project that, yes, it is secret for a reason, but you all know about this project after the tour. So I was almost finished with this project, and I get a call, and the person was like, "Hey, Marcus, do you know anyone who would be, interested in, working with magic on the 50 Cent tour?" And in my head, like me as a consultant, I'm immediately thinking for people. I'm like, okay, what it could be this wait a minute.
Yeah,
I can do this. Here, let me do it. So I'm like, here, I can actually do this. And the reason why this even came in front of me was because I actually had a hip hop magic act where I did a whole magic act, and I was rapping. I'm also an MC as well, so I actually put these two worlds together.
We gotta lay some bars, Marcus. We have to lay some bars.
Okay, hey, you said it. And I won a couple of awards competing in this act, and so that's why I've kind of been known for this.
What did you win? Speak on that for a minute. What nice. Award-winning act do you possess?
Yes. So in Texas, Texas Association of Magicians.
Baby, I was just there. I was at the TAOM. Love it, right? It's a good time.
Yeah. I actually won two awards, one for there, and then one for the SAM Magic Convention, and they were both in Texas.
National award. Those are both honorable contests. So kudos.
Yes, definitely.
It's not like I won the Ring 36 weekly.
A weekend shenanigan. You been there too? That's crazy. The Ring 36 weekend shenanigans. Like that. You
gotta start somewhere.
But yeah. So and actually, so the first time was in 2009 when I won the first one. That was for the SAM one, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Austin City Limits, the actual building, the original building. That contest was the last thing that was in that building before there was no more Austin City Limits. So it was cool. It was also another cool moment to have won it in that venue. They did the
contest in that venue?
Yeah. And that was like one of the last events before there was no more.
Yeah.
And then the second one was in Texas Association of Magicians in 2010. And then after that, I started to I kind of put that act aside, because usually, I'll accomplish something, and then I'll move on to something else, because I've actually had my experience in that. So I actually put that act aside. One, because I didn't want to lessen either one of the two, right? So yes, I'm an MC, and yes, I'm a magician. I decided to put them together, and it was a success. But then I started to, I guess, maybe overthink things, and then decided to focus more on just the magic at that point, and then let the music be its own thing, because I'm always the one to say that you'll learn more about me, 100% more about me, if you listen to my music that I do, other than magic. Magic, we create these things from our imagination, which yes, can be the truth, but if you really want to know something about me, it would be like from my music. So I didn't want to tarnish one or the other, especially on the music side. So I just decided to separate them again and just keep going with the magic. But And then I was fortunate enough to have that come full circle when Mervant, an amazing magician on America's Got Talent, he contacted me, and I was able to kind of resurrect that feeling that I had, mixing the two together by helping him on his act. But yeah, I don't regret, separating those two things. I'm on a different path right now.
When
but
did you
I'm
begin releasing magic to the community? You had quite a few items available.
Oh, tons, yeah.
The very first thing that I released on my own was in 2007. And then I guess the first thing people would know me for would be 2008 when I released 5 with Daniel Garcia.
Oh yeah,
my boy Daniel Garcia! Shout out to my boy.
Can I just say?
To Theater 11.
Oh, can I just say? In that project, it rocked my world because I believe that's the series where you taught raw linkage. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Raw linkage, stairway, and fresh. Yeah,
bro.
Stairway, so good.
Raw linkage is in my main sets at for my full-time working corporate magician performing. Raw linkage is the stuff, man. So thank God you invented that. But also how what's so funny though is it's so convoluted, to learn. It looks so perfect, but getting into it is so convoluted. I learned from you, but I can't actually show my magician friend how to do it because I don't know how to explain how to do it. My hands just know what to do. I can't slow it down. And so how did you even come up with that, for example?
Nice. So this was 2006, when I first came up with it. And I was, first of all, my rubber band magic came from Dan Harlan, Joe Reinflash. Dan Harlan was the first person who I really saw do rubber band magic when I was a youth. And
I think without Dan, none of us are doing rubber band tricks, right?
Say that again. Say it again. No, seriously, say that again.
Without Dan, none of us.
Okay.
Have the elastic around our wrist.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Dan Harlan. So and definitely saw the classic, linking rubber bands. Chris Kenner, of course, Missing Link, I believe it was called.
That's my favorite.
And yes, classic. So I was messing around, and I was a security guard at the time, believe it or not. And so I'm sitting in office, not being a security guard, just literally in this, playing rubber bands, so was not
doing my job. Lots of free time to practice.
And the whole idea of, the missing link, everything is so tight, there's a lot of tension and everything. And so I just wanted something loose. So I wanted just to be able to have a loose band, go ahead and touch and connect it. And then there you go. In fact, let me see if I can find some bands here.
What?
Just for people who don't.
Here's some I prepared already.
Yeah, nice. You better do this, Josh.
No. Marcus,
it's better. It's better if you do it.
Put Marcus on. Here's how we do this. Boom.
Here we go. Oh, boom. I like that. Boom. Full screen.
Get Josh off the screen before he fouls things up.
There you go. I'm not sure you can tell the difference between the blue and the green. You can actually, and what I would do is I would have someone let me open this up a bit. Perfect. They would touch anywhere they want to on this band right here. So let's just say they touch right about there. And you would have the bands. You just touch. And actually, look. You can actually link.
Okay, now that's my favorite.
Right at the spot where they touched it right there. Someone else can hold it and they can grab onto it, but you can literally just pluck it right through off again. And there's a whole sequence that I did create that I created, but I actually like just going on and off as opposed to going through the other band. And
I like the idea of offering them the band to hold as it penetrates off. That's a good moment.
As much as I can, I try to get people involved in everything. I think that interactivity with the audience is something that will be unforgettable for them. They get to actually participate in something that they've seen. So I think it would resonate with them more. But before that, once again, as I'm sitting down and going through the different configurations of how to make that happen, Josh, I was just playing around, and then that moment kind of snapped on me. It's like, oh, wait, I think I'm onto something. But yes, for those who know, that method that I just showed you is very. It's a long way to get there, a lot of practice is how I got that.
For a student, and is it something you'd want to promote currently? You want to say you could get that here?
Sorry, say that again.
is this available for the modern student? So if someone wants to learn this trick.
Definitely. You can go to Theory 11 right now and get that from 5. It's not its own individual download. It's from the Project 5.
Is that the only way to get it?
Though, say it again?
That's the only way to get it?
Currently. After this tour, I have something that I'm about to do. Oh, headphone out. I'm releasing some brand new magic, by the way. It's been a long time since I've released some magic. And that there's gonna be a whole rubber band project of some rubber band magic you've never seen before, and that I've been holding on to for so long. And my reasoning for that is I've been holding on to magic, like so much magic, and like I haven't released anything in quite a few years because at one point I got jaded. This is a whole different subject now. I kind of got jaded into magic about 2 years ago. Seeing all the magic that was coming out in the magic market, I was just kind of bummed, if that makes any sense. Because at that point people were just kind of releasing magic, I believe just for money's sake, and I didn't want to get down in that same path. I think there was one project that I released before I got to this realization that I was not happy with, because I only released it because I needed the funds at the time, right? So I actually quickly pulled it after I released it, and then kind of went inward into to realize, what am I actually doing this for? What am I actually creating magic for? And so I took a little break, and then that's when all the TV work started coming in. I started doing a lot of consulting for other people, and that kind of fueled me more than creating magic for people.
What's the first move into that direction? You're a creator, you're releasing magic to the community, and then how do you pivot into marketing yourself as a consultant?
I have to give most of that credit to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is the one who brought me in really into the magic world, because
were y'all hanging out in Texas?
In Texas.
Were you from Houston too?
Say it again?
You from Houston as well?
No, I'm from Austin.
Austin, all right.
I mean, it's a long story. I'm an Air Force kid, so I was originally born in Abilene, Texas. The next day I moved to Florida. So that began my whole journey of moving around, but I ended up in Austin. That's the longest I've been anywhere. All right. And met Danny Garcia, and he was 13, I was 15 years old, and we were just little kids, creating magic, and we realized that not a lot of people were creating original magic, and so we got together, and that was the thing. Wow. Speed forward to 2008, he actually was going to Vegas to film a project on his own with Theory 11. He brought me along, and that was the first experience that people got to see of me. And so from then on, most of the time, if he had a project, he would bring me on, and that is when creating for other people became a thing. Now, consulting is a totally different thing. I used to think that just being on these projects, consulting is just, hey, you create magic for TV, which is not. That is a totally different thing. You are a magic creator for TV. A consultant is someone who will look at an entertainer's act, who they are, and then shape something specifically for them, which is a totally different monster than just creating magic for someone. I do that as well still for these people, but to actually know the person, to actually figure out what they like, and how to make their magic or whatever they're doing uniquely them is the challenge. And so that's why I think most people say they are magic consultants, but I don't think they understand what it really takes to be a magic consultant. Anyone can learn, but it's just, just creating magic for someone, I think, is a totally different thing.
Yeah, I love that so much, because a lot of times when I've worked with people in the past, like when I've been writing shows, who are like, oh, let me help you, I'm going to direct your show, whatever else. There's nothing worse than you have like your own style or technique or the way you present things, and then you work alongside someone who you hold in high regard, but rather than them identifying who you are and accentuating the magician you are, they just go, you should do it the way I would.
And I have to stop myself sometimes, because sometimes the things that I am pitching to someone are things obviously coming from me, right? It's coming from my imagination. Hey, it would be cool if you did this. And I have to sometimes stop myself and remind them, hey, I'm mentioning this, but once again, this is your event. This is your thing that you're taking on. Here is what I would think would be an amazing idea, and I'm very careful not to force my ideas on anyone. I will mention something and see if it fits with them or resonates with them.
It's what you're saying that you couldn't get 50 to do rubber band magic on stage? Is that what
So
you're saying?
coming up on the second half of the tour, what we're going to do is he's going to have another.
Can you talk a bit about what you're doing
Yeah.
in that regard with this show? Like what magic is happening?
Yeah, so I can't talk too much about
Okay.
all the things. So as people are filming it in social media, the cat's out of the bag at that point. I was very fortunate to have one of the pieces start to become viral. So it's starting to become really viral, which is the quick changes, and it was crazy to see because I don't think I've had like a viral moment. I've had viral moments in Magic, but outside of Magic, it's just very strange to see this. But yeah,
I have a feeling if you applied yourself to the medium, you would crush it. Because look at you, you're so affable. It's like I want to hang out with you. Let's go.
And that's why we're doing it right now. But yes, afterwards, let's do that. Let's
imagine
all the hangs.
Imagine if that quick change you released that as like dress code 5.0 or something. The world would just lose their mind.
I've had people actually contact me after that, trying to see if they can do that. And
wow.
It's and shout out to Arcadio and Solange for the original concept of that. And I just went in and kind of redesigned it to make it more realistic for the environment that I'm in. And shout out to Jamie as well. She was on our team. She's the one who helped me get my idea to become a realization. So if she's watching, which I know she probably is, I don't know if she is, but yes, yeah, shout out to you. It takes a village to do everything that we're doing, and so I can't take 100% of the credit, but yes, there you go.
Yeah, we just had Alex Boyer in the chat earlier. He said, he just said, I can truly say that some of the best memories is hanging out with Marcus. He's so inspiring and love you guys. Can you tell us, like, what's the most annoying thing about Alex Boyer?
So there's one thing, this man is sexy. This man is just so beautiful, and I try to attain that kind of level. Alex is amazing. I was very fortunate to work with him, Chris Ramsey, Eric LeClaire, and Wes Barker on the Big Trick Energy. Yeah, that was fun. Amazing experience, and they all have become brothers. So it's shout out to Alex, man. I love Alex, man.
Wow.
So Alex can do no wrong in my eyes. There you go.
Well, who else in the Magic realm? Who else in the Magic realm have you worked with? I mean, I believe you worked with, was it Justin Willman as well? You worked alongside?
Yes. I did season 1 and 3 of Magic for Humans. And there's something special else coming up, which I can't speak on. And then David Blaine was the first major person that I worked with. Worked on Beyond Magic and the Magic Hour. So those 2 specials with him, and that was an amazing.
That's got to help the promo file. You're like, yeah, I'm a consultant. I've consulted for David Blaine.
Yeah.
From there, you're hired, right? I mean, it's like that's a good place to go.
I'm still in a little bit disbelief on how these things are unfolding. But yes, it's always an honor to be able to be looked at for any kind of work, but to be looked at by these giants in the field that I love so much is completely incredible.
I have
also DMC. I have to say DMC. On Netflix, which is he had a Netflix special called Death by Magic. That was also an amazing experience.
That was so cinematic to watch. Really different style of Magic special. Really nice to watch. And I feel like a consultant's doing well when you never hear about them. Like
nice.
in the mainstream, it's just
I think so.
Yeah, like you never hear of Danny Garcia until a photo pops up of like him working on something, and likewise with you. You see, I remember seeing clips pop up of you with David Blaine, you with everyone, Willman, and now 50, and you just casually like, oh yeah, I'm on this tour, it's pretty awesome, and I'm just like, we're just here, like we talked about it on the podcast. I'm like, oh freaking hell, my fiance bought me tickets to see the show, and now I'm seeing that the magician that I grew up learning from, is like working on this. It's pretty crazy. And so I feel like these days, people who are creating a Magic series or production are like, all right, we need who does everything else? Who does all the other shows? All right, get me Danny, get me Marcus. I feel like that's how the conversation happens these days.
And so I feel like as a consultant, and I can't speak for anybody else, I believe Danny may feel the same way. It's not about me. It's not about me at all. So that's why I kind of am in the background. For one, you never outshine the master, right? But for me, the main thing is if you're hiring me or you want me to help you on a project of yours, at that moment it's not about me at all. I'm trying to figure out every single thing that I can do to make sure that you are getting to the level that you want to, and maybe even beyond, by looking into things that you didn't even realize about yourself, that in one conversation I can see a lot of different things about you that you may not even believe in yourself about, or even recognize in yourself, and then we can now take you to a level that you didn't even realize that you would reach. So that comes with putting your ego aside. I definitely believe, back to what you're saying, Doug, if I really were to tackle social media, I could be all over the place. But for one, I enjoy my privacy. Yes, the magic community knows me, but I love to be able to walk anywhere I want to and not have the spotlight on me. But really, I believe I was here, put on this earth, to be of service to other people. So if I can elevate or uplift anybody, then that is what I love to do. So it's not about me. The moment we talk, it's not about me anymore. It's about you and everything that I can do to help you.
Hey, I've got something you can help me with. Your trick empty. I want to do your trick and I can't find it. I can't find the instructions. How do I learn empty?
So empty, empty was the first project in that field of making a deck of cards appear. I mean, right now I'm on reload, which is the last thing you saw. So it was empty, loaded, and then reload is the thing that did on that fooled them.
Should I
have
Google
some other
reload?
things later on. Say it again.
Should I Google reload Marcussetti? Is it available?
So reload is currently out of stock. I make all those by hand.
Here's the Marcussetti website. You have a
it's out of stock. It's out of stock right now.
Which they need
but there is good news on that. Very good news on that coming up. But all these things are happening after the tour, though. So yes, reload will be back in stock in a different form. You'll love it. You'll love it.
So when you're working on so many projects, there's obviously this amazing level of secrecy, Marcus, but I guess you would only be permitted to share things that are your own. And the question I have for you, is there anything that you could give us or share with us about what you have coming up for yourself that we could get a little excited about?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, there is I'm done holding back these magic ideas that I have. I feel like, it's that phrase, I'm paraphrasing, I don't want to die with the music inside me. Right. So now I have so many magic ideas in like notebooks and things I've just kind of guarded and kept safe, and out of fear of being, like people taking this idea, it's my idea. It's not about that anymore. I put my ego aside and I'm starting to understand that, yes, I won't be here forever. And if all these ideas are just, in me only, then no one's going to benefit from it. So I want the next generation of magicians to see these techniques, this technology that I have in my head, to be able to take that and then elevate that, to something new, something that even I didn't recognize. So that being said, I'm compiling at the moment a bunch of unreleased magic that I have. A project in its own will be rubber band magic, and then another project is all the things that you've never seen, that that I've worked with other people on, that I can finally start releasing, and a bunch of new magic. I'm trying to figure out what format it is. I know the rubber band stuff will be in a video format, because rubber band magic is that like you kind of need someone to show you these things as opposed to writing in a book. But then I think I am going to do a book with all my crazy ideas, all my elevation of concepts. It's coming. It's coming.
buying everything.
Hey, shout out to Danny. Shout out to Danny. There you go.
Danny says, "I'm buying everything." So let's go.
Danny's my brother, man. Danny's my brother. We actually met on this tour, but we have known each other since time and spaces all combined. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but I like this. This is fun.
So what I'm curious about, Mike, is when you create things, when you're on a project, working alongside people, when you create stuff, what happens to that intellectual property? So I'm curious, when you're working with Willman and you're coming up with ideas that either like end up on the, the cutting room floor or don't get, whose intellectual property does it become? Is it yours? Is it his? Like if I hired you to work with me for one whole year and you made so many ideas, are they mine forever? How does it work, Marcus? And if you're gonna get into consulting someday, like, is there something we should say, like, okay, look, whatever you don't use is mine?
Yeah.
What
So I mean, anything that I create, it is my intellectual property. Now, if I were to do something and that someone uses in the show, if it's not in the contract, obviously, if it's in the contract, it's in the contract. But that's never been in my contract. If someone else sees that and like, oh, can we do something like you did with Justin on that one special? I would not do that because me personally, between me and the artist, it is theirs, right? If you want something similar to that, then I will create something brand new, to like which speaks to the thing that you want. I've been very fortunate to not have any shortage of ideas. So it's one of those things where I've been creating magic for so long that if you tell me that you want to do something, then I can quickly come up with 5 different methods right away. Then we start to whittle down these methods into something that is uniquely you, and maybe out of all those methods, I mean, because there's only a few ways to do everything that you're asking. So I just quickly, hey, Marcus, can I make a elephant appear in the middle of Times Square? Boom. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Now, and that is in a second, right? Now, if you give me a little bit of time, then now I can whittle down and or create something unique based on all those methods that I've done in the past and just how my imagination works. I can now just kind of craft something unique for you. I'm thinking about all these things. Okay, this has been done before. This has been done before. Oh, actually, no one has done this before. What if I add this with, oh man, what about this? Yeah. And so like, this is all just kind of going in my head pretty quick. And so yeah, that speaks to that. But as far as anything, intellectual property, that's what this other project is going to be. This book that I'm thinking about putting together is all the things you've never seen. So all the things that have been on the cutting room floor, because with every project, I'm creating like 50 different tricks. Not all of those tricks are included in these specials. So there's a ton of magic out there that no one has seen, and I'm super excited about that.
Wow. And do you have any crazy stories from consulting that you're able to talk about? Like where things
every
like
night with 50 Cent, there's probably a crazy story. Come on.
So many stories.
You have any?
Um,
Let me think. Anything specific?
Or like you're about to do the show and you've just realized a major part of the thing to work isn't, and you've got to recreate
Talk
something
about
on the fly.
How many times Alex Boyer took his pants off on full trip. Well, actually, that's more Eric LeClaire's skit. He's the one without any pants on.
Fair enough. So speaking to what you just said, like once again, I can't speak too much on the happenings behind the scene, but imagine that there's something that happens every single night. Pretty much with every production I've been on, there has been something that we didn't account for, or something that happens last second where I had to kind of jump in and think very fast in order to make the magic happen. So once again, I can't speak on too much of the specifics, but my experience in magic has been one that has allowed me to think fast. Once again, just like if you wanted to create something, I can think of quick methods. If something goes wrong, which a lot of times things go wrong, I can quickly in that same time span create like 5 different solutions. Like we need to account for that. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Is there some? Is there like, or I feel that the effort of being creative,
yes,
makes you more creative. So as years go on, it's probably evolved where you just do it. But maybe rewind your brain 10 years and.
Yeah, and following on from that, like what happens when you get stuck? Because I have so many things I'm stuck with, like just stuck. Like,
Yeah, yeah. What do you
happens
mean? What do you mean stuck how?
He doesn't. That's not a thing in his brain, Nick.
What do you mean?
Does not compute.
Now, okay. So to
Okay,
answer
so-
Doug and Nick at the same. I'm sorry. Were you saying?
Yeah, well, okay. So when you're stuck, say for example, like when I like to create with restriction, and
Okay.
so if for example, if I was going to vanish a coin, yes, you can
Yes.
do it with a French drop, but then you might go, okay, I want to do it with my sleeves up, and I want to be able to show my hand back and forth, and I want to be able to do a spin, and you just cannot see it. Like you create restrictions so that you can elevate the trick. So there's stuff that I have in mind there that I've been working on for ages and ages and ages. And I've bounced ideas off like people like Nick Lawrence and a couple other friends that we have. And they're just gone, that's a good idea. And they give me a little nudge in the right direction. But like you talk about stuff and it's just like, oh, and I just make it happen. It's like, surely you get to a point where it's like, I wanted to do it this way and I can't. But it doesn't seem to be in your vernacular. Like what?
So okay. So I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna address what you said, Nick, and then go back to Doug in the same breath. So me personally, there are no restrictions. I do not operate on restrictions first. If you want a coin to vanish, I'm going to think of ways to do it in the most amazing possible. I'm already thinking, hey, it has to be sleeves up. It has to be out in the open. It has to be just in the palm of my hand, blow on it, and it's gone. Like I start there, and then restrictions are placed upon it as I'm coming up with methods. But I never restrict myself on ideas. If I feel like if you're restricting yourself on ideas, you're already doing a disservice to yourself, and you're not allowing your brain to create that imagination or that magic that you're actually trying to fulfill with people. Now, this all, Doug, this all actually started, because I'm an Air Force kid. I grew up overseas, and 5 years old, the classic story. At 5 years old, I get this magic set from my parents, and I was in love with the idea of what magic was, but I didn't know that there was magicians, magic books that you can learn from, and so I would watch like a Copperfield special and try to recreate the things that I saw by cutting open toy boxes and whatnot, and creating what I thought magic was. And this is all before knowing that there's a process. There are books that you can learn from. So when I was able to, and this is all from my imagination. When I actually got around magicians and went to a magic club, when they saw the methods that I was using, there were unconventional methods. These aren't traditional things that you would read in book, and that's why I believe word got out about me creating, is because I actually didn't know that there was a whole world that was already there for me.
Yeah.
I was just creating what I thought magic was,
So
and so that's why
I
these
love
ideas come to me. I feel like that's why they come to me easy, and but I also believe that I was also here to do this. I was here to be a creative in whatever capacity. Magic just happened to be the one thing that people have noticed for me.
All right.
We're just sitting here in awe now.
I was just staggering.
Me too. I'm just like, man, who's this guy talking? This guy.
Yeah. Do you have an everyday carry? Like, is there magic that you're enjoying doing for?
It's bands. It's bands right now. Like anything bands. It's whenever, and shout out to everyone, shout out to every magician who does magic and wants to share with people. I'm not the one to come out and bring out a deck of cards and just start, doing flourishes and whatnot. Literally, people will not know that I'm a magician until maybe like years after they meet me, or a very long time. I never lead with that. And I think that came with being an Air Force kid, because I had to meet people. I had to learn how to meet people. And whereas, some people would use their talents as a crutch to meet people, me, I had to learn just to be like, hey, I'm Marcus, and just start talking, right? And so I never led with magic. And then all of a sudden, magical things start happening around you, right? Or around me. And that's when you would know I was a magician. So that, and that goes back to the everyday carry. So I don't bring out traditional props whenever I'm doing magic. I'll always have bands around me. People, carry bands around their wrist for whatever reason. So if I see someone with a band around their wrist, then that's my opportunity to grab that and do something really quick with it. I love doing magic with ordinary objects, because I think that in my world, in my opinion, that is more magical than bringing out a known magical prop. And
Marcus
if I'm able
doesn't
to do
need
something,
everyday carry. He just makes something up on the spot.
nice, exactly. And it's a great exercise too.
Hocus
It's a great
pocus.
exercise. Literally, that is what I love to do: is look around anywhere I'm at. I'll find something like, okay, I can do something with that. I can do something with that. I can do something with these and those, plural. So yeah, my everyday carry is everything that's around me.
Do you give yourself creative challenges, kind of like the way Fitzky does in the book? You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Great. So, like, could you share what that creative process is like, and like, is there something that we can adopt and come up with stuff like?
Definitely.
How do you do it?
Yeah, just like I said, I'll go somewhere and look at what's around me, and the idea is to. So room key. Here we go. I'll look at a room key. And the thing about trying to create magic from things that are around you is to, first of all, look at the properties of that card. So, okay, room key. It's stiff. It's known to be stiff. So it's a little bit flexible. So you can use that to your benefit. Let's see. It's lightweight. It is, the size of it and everything. So now I'm looking at all the properties. So now once you identify all the properties of that object and that everybody knows, now we can start to change these properties against them. Now, if I were to have, I'm just freestyling right here, and so this won't be good. But now, if I do a photocopy of this, and now it's just a thin sheet of paper where people know the room keys are thick. Now I'm playing on your perception of the objects you already know this is. So now I can bend it in certain ways. I can rip it in certain ways where you can't essentially do that with this. So basically, I take the properties of the object that I'm doing, and then I can change it to work against you. It sounds negative in that way, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm playing on your perception of the object that you are familiar with. That is the beginning, the first start of making something that people know into something that is not known.
Randy just asked, do you think creativity can be learned, or some people are born with it as a gift of being creative?
I believe that for me, I was born, like I said, with that gift. But yes, definitely, you can learn anything. And just that little thing that I just told you about looking at your world differently, basically. Look at the world as everyone sees it, and then put a spin on it.
I'm envisioning a world
that makes you ahead of the game.
I'm envisioning a world where parents encourage their children to make magic tricks from cereal boxes instead of play video games on their Nintendo. And then maybe everyone has a better creative muscle. So I bet you have some sweet moms and dads in your life.
Definitely. My parents are my biggest fans, and shout out to them. And to that point that you just said, I feel like you need someone to actually do that. In that example that you just gave, you need someone to say, hey, look, instead of reading and looking at the cereal box as you're eating cereal, what if you cut open that box and folded it this way, and now you can have this trick. So now it's getting children. So by the way, first of all, I believe magic belongs to the children, right? I think the older you get, the more the world starts to tell you its rules and how the world should be done. 9 to 5, you're the white picket fences, all these good things, right? But as a kid, you're free to dream. You're free to be whoever you want to. At that moment, if you're interested in magic, that is when everything, I believe you should be subjected to that, so that your imagination can run free. Why not, have a project where, and now this is for anybody, why not create a project for the youth, to be inspired by magic at an early age, something for them, yes, the traditional things that they need to learn in magic, but a creative project for kids to learn. Now, there are things out there to be creative, like KiwiCo. I don't know if you've heard about that. Where kids learn STEM projects. Was it science, technology, engineering? I forgot what the A was, and math. So projects like that are creative for children to fuel their imagination, I think is what's necessary. And a magic project like that, Doug, would be great to fuel that creative process.
Do you see the imaginations of kids as time has gone on, how slowly diminished? Because I'm seeing that myself, especially on this side of the planet, when we've got just a generation of kids that are, born with technology in their pockets, or as, folks like our age probably we had that luxury of riding bikes and not being able to be cold or anything of that nature. Like, do you think that the creativity and imaginations of kids is dying slowly compared to the luxuries that we had where we didn't have these distractions?
So I think at one point that I did, and I began to realize, okay, just like where exposure is now so out there on the social media. At first, I was bummed about that, but then I had to realize, okay, if I was a kid and wanted to learn magic, how would I learn it? Well, when I did it, I had to go to the library, and to learn these books and learn from the books, and or just try to create from my own brain. I feel like, the internet is this generation's library. So yes.
What? Can you say that again, please?
Yeah.
Just for
I
anyone
feel like
who
the
missed
internet
that.
is this generation's library because let's be real. You can research how to do so much magic right now. Are you going to actually do it though? I mean, like, it's only those people who are so curious about magic that they'll research it and actually take it and make it a career. Those are the people who we really care about. And we want those people, right? Those who will see Crazy Man's Handcuffs will look at a tutorial and be like, okay, now I know how to do that. That satisfies them, and that's it. It ends there. So I think magicians think that, oh my gosh, like we can't allow this to get out there because now you're diminished. No, much of the population do not care about magic in that regard. Only those people who actually want to learn that and then want to take it further, those are the people we want to reach anyway, right? And so the internet has become that. I'd be surprised about how many people, non-magicians, would look at a trick, research it, see the tutorial, and then tell everybody how it's done. I don't think that's a world that we really live in. I think that magicians are so guarded in the secrets that we get upset when we see the tutorials, and rightfully so. I mean, like, these are people's creations. But if we're trying to reach the next generation of magic, this is their library. They're not going to go to their school. I mean, not necessarily going to go to the library to research this. So how else is the next generation going to learn magic? So I had to put that aside in my brain and just realize, okay, it's okay to reach those people who are going to elevate magic, to let them see the secrets. Yes, when I see a tutorial or a method, I do get a little bummed. I'm just like, oh, why is that out there? But I think we're overthinking about the whole population now seeing and learning and knowing how the things are done. I think that the people who are going to take that information, they need to they needed that information. That's Marcus as a kid who needed to see how that was done so that I can then create some more magic. So I also think that people who are watching like those TikTok 60-second videos where it just reveals, when they see a magician in real life, like, that method is hidden. So they're still blown away because it's totally different to what they just watch for 3 seconds. Don't you think? Thank you so much, Josh. And that's exactly, and that was the right way to say what I was trying to say. People have this curiosity, to learn things and they seek knowledge. But it's the difference when you approach someone who really takes this craft seriously, right? It is a craft, and you may learn a guitar lick, but go and watch John Mayer concert and see that same guitar lick, and your mind is still blown. You think but you have no idea until you're actually there. So I think we overthink things. I think I overthink things whenever I see these tutorials, but because not everyone's going to take that craft as serious as someone who is interested in that craft.
What about this? What about when you release your project and a week later there's someone exposing your new rubber band item on the short film?
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
Like I said, yeah. I mean, whenever I see it, I do cringe a little bit. But also I have to be real with myself as well. Anyone who goes to my lecture can do the same thing. Anyone who buys anything from me, they feel they can do that because they paid for it. Like me trying to fight every single battle like that. I mean, no, I do not encourage that for creators' work to be stolen. But me trying to fight that battle, which I tried to do earlier on, it stresses me out. And so I'm very fortunate to once again have a creative outlet to keep creating ideas. I understand not everyone is like that, but I feel like that's a losing battle. Those who are creating
but that's
magic,
the line, right? Like when it's commercially available or affecting a professional's repertoire, and then people choose to expose it in a public forum like TikTok or Shorts, then maybe that's the gray area that shouldn't be played.
I guess it's kind of like, you know, Nike. You can buy Nike knockoff shoes, but like, does their $1 billion company care that much, or is it like, oh, that's?
I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, Doug, and this is an amazing conversation. There's been many ways to try to stop piracy in Magic. But I do feel like it's a losing battle because once again, I feel like the people who are actually going to take that seriously are people who should know about Magic anyway, right? And so someone who's just buying it and now if there it's a difference if they're trying to profit from it, you know, it's like, hey, they take my download and they're actually trying to get money from it. Like that's a battle that we can fight. But if you're sharing knowledge, I think that's almost, this is a very unpopular opinion I can imagine for magicians. But if you're trying to share knowledge, even though, like, you know, that money is coming out of your pocket or it's not coming from your pocket, like someone's, you know, utilizing it, that knowledge, I feel like you wanted that knowledge to get out there anyway, right? And I'm only saying that because I'm tired of fighting that battle. And me personally, this is all me personally, I'm trying to get this information out there. Otherwise, I wouldn't even revealed or given out this information. So yeah, I hate it whenever, especially like if you just release something and now your sales are cut down. But I'm trying to get this knowledge out anyway, and so that's kind of like the unpopular, you know, opinion that I have on that.
I think the good news is that the exposure is mostly irrelevant as long as you play your licks well, right?
Oh, Doug brought it back. Everyone give it for Doug. I said I'll do it for everybody. I got you for everybody.
Scenarios like this, I've always tried to get people to sway their mindset, to not focus on like how it's done, but why it's done.
Yes,
why it's done. We do it to make people smile. We do it to share the magic. We do it to, you know, share the love. It's, you know, like when we approach a group at a function, at a wedding, or whatever we're doing, the intention is to make them smile. The intention is to, like, when you have the ability to change someone's mood for the whole day, you know, like it's such a superpower. It is such a superpower. You know, it could be something as primitive as like the cashier having the worst day. You don't have to show that person magic to change their day. Just because the few guys that they served prior were absolutely awful to that person, if you have the ability to make that person smile, you should do so. Whether you do it with magic or not is erroneous.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about that scenario that you have right there, I bet you that cashier has probably seen tutorials online, yet they've never experienced magic in person. So that is a perfect example of, you know, are we thinking too much on this magic exposure thing?
Your average person who sees this, they don't even care, right? They're gonna going in here, out there, and it's forgotten in 5 scrolls later.
And the people who take it seriously, they needed that information. Like they needed that information. So that's why. So maybe I'm just trying to repurpose my brain to keep my own sanity, right? I'm just trying to rationalize it to keep my own sanity from seeing all these things. But yes, in that example, what is magic, right? So someone's having a bad day. A magician comes and does something amazing for them, changes their day. Okay, so now what is magic? Is magic that trick that you did for them, or is magic the personal interaction that you have with that person, the something that changed their day around, something that made them smile, something that, allowed one state to morph into another state, you know, is that the real magic? So that's where I'm at right now in my life, in my career, is these things that we develop as magicians. These are tricks. These are not like the 21 card trick, the vanishing a coin. These are just tricks. That's not magic. Literally, and this may be cliche, it's whatever that person is experiencing. It's not what we're experiencing. We are just creating tricks. We are creating the thing that could be magical. Like, to me, however cliche this is, there's so many things around that are magical that are more magic than magic, right? Because like we're just creating tricks to reach that level of something that is magical. Man, there's so many things that are here that are magical that It doesn't matter what kind of trick you do. Is how are you leaving that person? You left them. You met them in one state. You're leaving them in another state. That is what the magic is. This trick that we're doing for them is just the vehicle or the catalyst to get them there. It could be anything. It could be a kind word. That's magic because you just changed their mind. It could be a song on the radio. That's magic. It changed their mood from this to this. So what I've come to realize is that magicians create tricks in order to get that feeling, to get that that emotional connection or whatever that you're trying to reach. These tricks are just things to get us there. So now me personally, I've redefined what magic is to me, and that's why I don't necessarily have to do a trick to get the magical outcome that I'm trying to reach for people.
This is the most important thing, and it took me so long to realize it's not the tricks, and that the person's point of view that's perceiving the act is what it's all about. You got to put yourself in the spectator's shoes and think about what they're watching, and you know, maybe what you like is not the best choice.
And there you go. It like really is. However you get there is what the magic, in my opinion, should be. However you get there.
You know, it's almost the ability to when you walk up to someone, you might have had intentions of performing a particular piece, but after taking a moment to say hi, how are you, and learn a little bit about them, you go, here's what they need to see.
Ooh. Or hear or experience at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is another. Now we're going back to consulting, right? Whatever that artist who came to you, the vision, that the dream they have in their head. They have this big grand dream in their head. They just don't know how to get there. And I feel it takes someone who has experience, you know, in this to help them realize their vision, right? Like all these grand ideas that we have, like sometimes they get shoved away because like, oh, that'd be a cool idea if only I knew how to do it, right? So that's when you need a consultant to actually help you to achieve that thing that you're trying to achieve, because our imaginations can go crazy and it can be so grand that we'll get that high for a second, and then we realize we can't, you know, easily get there. Then it just gets pushed into a corner. Our dreams get pushed to a corner because they're just too grand for this world that I'm living in right now. And it takes another eye. It takes someone else sometimes to see your vision, see your dream, and then help you to realize that. So yeah, and so to me currently, that's why I'm loving consulting way more than actually creating magic, creating these tricks. I'm a dream chaser, and I'm trying to help you get your dreams. And so to me, that is like the most magical thing.
Well, what I'm seeing the correlation between how magic should be done and what you do so well for a living as a consultant is that you do it selflessly. You don't do it with any other intention than to gift it to someone and to give them an experience or anything of, you know, like it's from the same vein where it's entirely selfless. And it's just so refreshing, this conversation you're having with us right now, because it's just such a good message to lead, like to give us all the listeners, to say to them, like, it's about giving. It's not about you.
Yeah, there's going to be a few brains that listen to this and come away with big fat smiles and brightened perceptions of the world.
You're changing people today, Marcus Eddie. You are changing people.
We're leading towards the end of this thing where we normally wind up for an hour. I'm questioning if we have other subject matter to talk about. Is there a review today? Nick, do we have something? Do we have sponsors to put a spotlight on?
Well, this is the thing, friends. We were going to review a product, but unfortunately, there's no stock. There's no stock for this particular product.
Here's the thing: we're out of time. No time for a review today, Nick. We'll have to pause that review.
The timing was great. Just so you guys were aware, we had every intention of reviewing decks. Which is
let me review Eddie's great trick, Empty, which is now known as Reloaded. We can't wait to find it again. Hold on, can we go here and get these things when they come out? Is this the place? Is this your site or not?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So if we keep an eye around these places and things are released,
I got to update that website. Oh my gosh, yes.
Let me get this off the screen before he's embarrassed. All right, well, how about this? Maybe when you get your things done, the new projects, you come back on and blab about it, and that would be awesome. Yeah. Would you
done?
Would you do that?
Easy. That's easy. What I would like to leave people with is be okay to dream. I feel like people are not dreaming enough and then actually going for it. So any those ideas that you have that you've grown up with and they've just been you've been keeping them inside you. I think now is the time to let them go. That you don't want to leave this earth with these ideas inside of you. Just try as much as you can to get them out. You don't have to stop everything you're doing just to accomplish that. But if you make these little steps in order to get something closer to your dream, then in your own world, I feel like you would have accomplished something so grand that only you would understand that, and that I think is enough to fuel you to enjoy this world that we're living in, because this world is pretty amazing. So,
thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.